In the world of software development, we're taught to live by rules. We have blueprints, roadmaps, user stories, and 2-week sprints. It's a world of structure, logic, and meticulous planning. But what if I told you there's another way? A way that's less about following a map and more about following a feeling. You might have heard the term whispered on X or debated in a late-night Discord channel. It's called vibe coding. Is it just a buzzword for messy code? Or is it a genuine glimpse into the future of how we create software? Today, we're going to demystify it completely. We'll cover what it is, where it came from, the tools that make it possible, and whether it's the key to innovation or just a recipe for disaster. So let's start with the big question. What is vibe coding?
At its core, vibe coding is an approach that prioritizes intuition, feel, and rapid feedback over a strict, pre-written plan. Think of traditional engineering like building a skyscraper. An architect hands over a detailed blueprint. Every beam, every window, every wire is planned before a single foundation is poured. The goal is precision and predictability. Now, think of vibe coding like a jazz musician improvising a solo. They know the rules, the music theory, but the performance is guided by emotion, by the energy in the room, by a moment-to-moment conversation with their instrument. The goal is expression and discovery. This is often called vibe-driven development, or VDD. It's not about having no plan, it's about letting the developer's gut feeling and the immediate feedback from the app itself guide the very next step.
To really get it, you need to understand its key elements, the pillars that hold this whole idea up. First, and most importantly, is the flow state. This is that magical state where you're completely immersed in what you're doing. Time melts away. For a vibe coder, decisions aren't made by a committee, they're made by a gut feeling. A developer thinks, this button just feels wrong here, or this animation needs to be snappier. That's the guiding principle. Second, and this is non-negotiable, extremely rapid feedback loops. Vibe coding is literally impossible if you have to wait 30 seconds for your project to recompile. The time between writing code and seeing the result has to be near zero. Tools that provide this instant feedback aren't just a convenience, they are fundamental. The feedback loop becomes part of the creative thought process. Third, there's a heavy focus on aesthetics and user experience. While you can apply this to any kind of coding, the vibe is most often a sensory one. It's about visual harmony, satisfying interactions, and how an app feels to use. The vibe coder is an engineer, a designer, and the app's very first user, all at the same time. And finally, vibe coding is about minimal planning, maximum exploration. You start with a fuzzy goal, not a detailed spec sheet. The process is one of discovery. You build a small piece, you react to it, you build the next, and you allow the final product to emerge organically from a series of creative experiments. So, who is this vibe coder? It's someone with a mindset that's more artist than architect. They're comfortable with ambiguity. They embrace the journey of creation, and their first instinct is to build a quick prototype, not write a long document. But this isn't some brand new idea that just appeared out of nowhere. The term might be new, but the practice has been around for decades. The spirit of vibe coding started back in the 70s and 80s with the original hacker culture at places like MIT. They were building for the sheer joy of it, exploring the limits of new machines. Then, in the 90s, the rise of the web and view source culture let a whole generation of developers learn by tinkering and experimenting on their personal homepages. In the 2000s, creative coding tools like processing and P5.js explicitly framed code as an artistic medium, focusing purely on aesthetics and interaction. But the real explosion happened in the last decade, thanks to the tools. This is what truly unlocked vibe coding for the masses. Which brings us to the Vibe Coder's Toolkit. These tools are all about speed, intuition, and getting out of your way so you can just create. First up, you have the blazing fast build tools. Vite is the king here. Its near-instant server startup and hot updates are what make that rapid feedback loop possible. Tools like the next.js dev server and Parcel are also in this category. They are designed to keep you in the flow. Next are the interactive playgrounds. Think CodePen, Code Sandbox, or Replit. These let you sketch out ideas in your browser without any setup, encouraging pure experimentation. Of course, you have the component frameworks that enable this style of building. Svelte, React, Vue. They let you build in small, isolated chunks, which is perfect for an iterative, bottom-up approach. And now the game has changed again with AI assistants. Tools like GitHub Copilot act as a creative partner. They can turn a simple comment into a full block of working code, accelerating that exploratory phase like never before. Okay, this all sounds amazing. More creativity, more fun, faster prototyping. So, what's the potential here? Well, it's huge. Vibe coding is where true innovation can happen. Breakthroughs don't come from checklists, they come from play and happy accidents. It also lowers the barrier to entry, making development more accessible to people from design or artistic backgrounds. And for startups, it's the fastest way to get from an idea to a tangible prototype to show users and investors. Plus, a joyful process can be a powerful antidote to developer burnout. But, and this is a very big but, vibe coding is not a silver bullet. If you try to build a complex banking system purely on vibes, you're going to have a very, very bad time. It comes with some serious challenges. The biggest one? Scalability. An approach that works for a solo developer often breaks down completely in a large team. Coordinating the vibe of dozens of engineers is nearly impossible. Large systems need structure and standards. Then there's the problem of maintainability. Code born from one person's intuition can be incredibly difficult for anyone else to understand, debug, or build upon. Without documentation or clear patterns, these projects become fragile. And finally, there's the risk of unproductive rabbit holes and accumulating massive technical debt. Without clear goals, it's easy to spend days perfecting a tiny animation while the core features are left untouched. So what's the answer? Is it rigid engineering or pure vibe coding? The truth is, it's not a choice between the two. The most effective teams understand that they are two ends of a spectrum. The future is a hybrid approach. Use vibe coding where it shines, in the beginning, for brainstorming, for research and development, for building that first interactive prototype that proves the concept feels right. Then, once the core idea is validated, you bring in the engineering discipline. You refactor the code, you add tests, you write documentation, and you build a robust foundation that can scale. Ultimately, vibe coding is the natural result of decades of progress in our tools. It gives a name to the human-centric, creative process that's always been at the heart of making great things. It's a reminder that building amazing software isn't just about logic. It's also about artistry, empathy, and, yes, a feeling. It's about closing the gap between a fleeting idea and a real creation, allowing us to build not just from a spec, but from a vibe. What do you think? Have you ever found yourself vibe coding without even knowing it? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want more content that breaks down the future of tech and development, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Do like and share the video. Thanks for watching.